trash pick from the side of the road. Wait, gets better. Even came with the owner's manual. So hey guys, how's it going? So this was in a free pile on the side of the road, along with some other junk. I left the other junk behind, but I ended up grabbing this, and over in one of the garbage cans was the manual for it too. So I figured we'll bring it back to the shop, put it up on the bench, and we'll see if we could figure out why it was thrown out, what it failed for, possibly if we could fix it. Don't have any idea. So let's get into it, see what we find. Let's quickly just see what's inside here. Got a tip and an Allen wrench. You can tell this is going to be an older one. It's got a VHS tape. And is any of it just actual manuals, or is it just do not do stuff? Huh. Warranty's not filled out. What does this tell us? Anything? Just how to use it. No. Okay. Let's look at the welder. Let's go flip it to its side. See what it looks like on the inside. We got bits. We got more tips. And what is that? So I'm going to call it a MIG welder. It's not really a MIG welder. It could be. A MIG welder uses gas and I don't know what you want to call it. There's a flux core setup. Flux core is, it does not use gas, but it uses a wire that is coated, well, internally has a flux in it. This wire is hollow. Let's see what we got on here, 35 thou. Yeah, cord wire, inert gas. So on the inside of the wire is like a flux, and as you weld with it, it makes a shielding gas. When you weld, oxygen is your enemy, so you need something to have a cloud around the puddle of where you're welding to keep the weld puddle from getting contaminated. Normally you do that with a welding bottle and a gas, or like I said, flux core is kind of doing the same idea, but it's creating its own shield from the oxygen using the flux that's in there. All right, enough of that. So yeah, here it is set up on here. So flux core, you got to change the polarity, and if you're using it as a MIG welder, you flip the polarity over, and then you have a gas that goes with it. And what's got on it for a tip? It does not have the shielding tip on it, so this is just set up for flux core. It would have a nozzle on the end of it with air space around it for the gas to come out. Let's see what we got. A bit of rust on the feeder. We'll plug it in a second. We just give ourselves a quick overlook. I don't see anything out of the ordinary with it. It doesn't look terrible. And it just looks like it's dirty from sitting around. That's just a date on it, 87. That wouldn't make sense. Seeing it has a VCR tape in it. And what it's got for output. That's pretty low. This is a transformer welder, and they have what's called a inverter welder, which is more the modern stuff that's coming out. Inverter uses, I'm going to call it electronics, where this uses a transformer to make the power from AC to DC, and then I got to adjust across the transformer, where a inverter is more of an electronic exchange. You get a lot more out of an inverter for the same amount of power going in, but this is where it all started with. So this welder will probably be 3 times as heavy as the inverter welder too. So what do you say? It is 110 or 120 volt. Let's just go plug her in, see if it does anything. It's in the off position. We'll stand back from it a little bit, just in case it goes poof. Shall we? Made some kind of weird noise. Doesn't it sound like it's like buzzing, like electrical buzzing? I don't want to touch it. Smells a little funny too. Let's go That's good. Puts wire out. I wonder if there's something stuck in the fan. That might be what it is. So, we'll get ourselves a piece of metal and a welding helmet, see if it does anything. Alright, watch your eyes. That sparks. Wouldn't exactly call it smooth. Well, the transformer part at least is working. Let's should probably a little less. A little less wire. That's good. So you can crank her up a little. Ah, that might be where the fault is right there. The crank up does not crank up. You guys see? Yeah. It does not change positions. It's a joke there. We'll give it a little, let's run it for a second. It seems like it's all the way up. For like being on B should be like the lowest power, I think. And it's burning through. It seems like it's because this is only a 110 welder. It doesn't put out very much. It seems like what it's doing full power, but it's on B. Yeah, I'm gonna break it if I try going any further. It's gonna break. So maybe that's why it was thrown out. All right, let's go shut it off. And let's get the skins off of it, see if we can get towards that. So this thing has big capacitors in it too, so we got to be a little careful that we don't electrocute ourselves when we're in there. But let's get in. So it looks like maybe we take just all these out of it. We'll be able to get this part of it off. I don't know if that lip goes up over it or not. I don't know if that front has to come off. I don't really see. Are they capped off? How would that face come off? Let's get these out of here and see if it'll just kind of pull up and out of the way. Think it'll go? That was hard. Cool. Got all the innards. You can get a wiring diagram on the inside of it. Let's get you out of the stand. Let's see what we got. I don't see anything smoked. That'll get you. That's a big capacitor right there. Stores energy. And I don't see any like mice or anything in it. I wonder if it's just, so it's that selector, right? It's that one, the top one turns. Feed rate. This is the power that it puts out. That one's stuck in one position. I wonder if it was just used on one spot so long that the tabs kind of welded themselves together. Looks like it's got a sweep. Let's get that closer. Yeah. That there's a pad and just making contact at different spots. And it seemed like it was putting a lot of voltage out though for being just on B. Usually these things just barely make it what they're supposed to. Let's get a light on there. I'm also gonna short out across that capacitor in case there's anything in there. We're gonna let it discharge. This could suck. Jeez. I'll tell you. Yes, I was a little on the paranoid side. Okay, good. So there's nothing in that capacitor stored. I don't see any other ones on it real quick. It's on the other side of that. Actually, we can't. That's just the spool, right? Yeah. That's the only cap that's there. Okay. Let's get... I wonder if we can like unbolt that and pull it away. Maybe we can get... Let me go get a little light. We're going to look right inside there where that tab is on the pad. Yeah, let's see if we can... So my thought is that little pad... Oh, you can't see. That little pad right there is welded to the one that it's on. Let's... Let me go put a spot there. I'm going to try turning it. No, because that's moving. So that's not frozen. So something else is causing it not to... Or something broke on it. That looks pretty nasty right there, that. Let's see if we can make that light stay. Hold on one sec. Let's try it again. It moves, but not... Man, oh. It's going, it's going. I'm going to break the knob off, though. I'm giving it a lot. It's weird, though, because, like, that distance, there's no restriction on it. So it's not like the shaft in the middle is bound up. That part's turning free. There it goes. Man, that's crunchy, though. Man, I can't get to go to the next one. So something's definitely wrong there. I don't know if we got to go... See those little notches down there? Right under there. There's little, like, cams that locks it into different locations. I wonder if we should probably just throw me a little lube on there where those cobwebs are. Yeah, let's try dripping a little bit of, like, machine oil down inside there and see if that'll... Yeah. Yeah, let's go throw a little bit of oil on there. Yeah, see how well this works out for us. I think I want it right. Yeah, I'm not going to go overkill. I don't want to get it on the contacts, you know. They're meant to kind of stay dry. Let's see if that'll click for us a little better. We're gonna have to get it to go once, to at least to oil everything. Now. Yeah. That's not it. Let's, I don't know, can we get the knob off the front maybe? I have to pull it right out of there. Sometimes there's a set screw in the knob itself on the side. You can take the knob off, then we can get the bolts out of the side of it. Might be in the heel. Might just pull straight up too. Let's go get a little, what about this one? See, that one's got a set screw in it. If you can see it. I don't see one on the other one though. Let's see if we can get that off. Let me see. There it goes. Yeah. Is that the only thing holding the whole thing on? Could be more than that, right? Yeah. That's it. Wouldn't trust that, would you? And go get that out of there, see what it does. So if this thing's in 86, I bought my first welder. It was from Sears, and it just had a high and a low switch, and I think it had a feed control, but it was just high and low. That's all it had, and that thing would barely weld a piece of metal. Let's see if that's moving anything. It was expensive at the time. I want to say they were like $200, and Sears had a super sale on it for like $120. That was big money back in '86. That's like spending, I don't know, $400 or $500 now. And I didn't have that kind of money, but I needed to weld. And I use that thing forever. And I'll tell you one thing that makes you a good welder is a shitty welder. Because you have to do everything with whatever that can produce. Now with all the offshore ones, it's really gotten pretty cheap. I don't see... Looks like it was all kind of built together. Too bad. Can we get the front panel off? I don't know if it's going to help us though. If we could leave the switch where it is. What's your thoughts? I want to try to get to it because that's just plastic. It was just like on the verge of cracking on us, and I don't want to kill it. Everything else seems like it's working pretty good. I'm gonna go study it for a little bit. I don't know if we can get, maybe, is that gonna help us? That's just gonna take the skin off, right? Yeah. Yeah, nothing's holding it. It's free. That little screw is the only thing holding it. So looking at it a little bit more, you can see a screw coming through on the front side of it there. So I think if we get this front cover off of here, there's some other screws that we can kind of get. I'm just trying to make some room. Possibly we can leave the switch where it is if we can get the front panel out of the way. Is what I'm hoping for. Yeah, let's get this off. You get that screw out of there. Now you know when something's really old in the United States. It's got standard hardware on it, it's not metric. There's that. Probably gonna have to take that nut off, and then the rocker switch. Can we just pull the wires off? Yeah. I don't think they have a polarity to them. Pop them off. There's that. Let's go get a pair of pliers for that. Yeah, then after that welder, I think it finally died, or I just got enough money I was able to replace it. And that ended up, I got it was a Lincoln, but it was a 220 volt. It wasn't, you couldn't switch it. I still have it actually today. And that was a little bit on the opposite side, because it was just 220, and it still had the same selector switch, so you kind of had problems with trying to get the power to be right in between different thicknesses of metal. It never seemed like it had a great combination. Some of the better ones, I think with Lincoln, if it says HD on it, meant Home Depot, and if you bought it from like a Lincoln dealer, instead of it having like this one has, where it's got a selector switch for power, it had a variable one on it, so you're able to dial in the power much better. We might have to take the gun off of it, the cable. Let's just see if this pulls back a little. Gonna make us fight for it. I think it might work, but we're gonna fight for it. Let's get the. We gotta get the. Let's throw that anyway. Now it's out of the way. Let's disconnect. We get the wire out of it, and we'll take this out of our way. I think it's what's holding us right now. So this should just kind of flip down. This puts tension on the. You can adjust the tension on the wire going up. We should be able to back that up now, maybe. What we got to do is cut the other end off. I can just unthread it. Yeah, you see, oh, it went through. Okay, good. Let's go cut the little blob off the end. We should be able to, there we go. That's all gonna get cleaned up anyway. That roller's looking pretty crappy. Actually, the wire's not looking very great neither. I see a little bunch of rust. I'll show you. How many miles long is it? Want to make sure you don't let go. Is that just on thread, or does it have like a... There it goes. And it came out kind of pukey. And we're going to go poke that through in one of the holes. Keep it from undoing itself. Yeah. Good look how much you can see it on the wire itself. The rust, the spool's got a bunch of rust on it. There you go. There's a whole ton of it right there. That's been sitting a while. Oh, you suck. Oh, you suck. That's what I was trying to avoid. That. There you go, wind that up. What's this stuff? It's just it looks like the plastic just degrading. Oh, maybe it's the paper from the back. I don't know. Maybe it's the paper from right there. So the gun has a trigger. You pull the trigger, that's what tells the welder to make power and to feed wire. That's what these two wires are. And then that little wing nut should be just the only thing that's holding the wand in. See if that will come out of there. There we go. Yeah. And if you had gas, there's a little hole right there. That's where the gas would get fed in through. And down the center of the hose here. And there's where the tap where the line would go in. And that would be on a separate setup going through the back of the machine. Yeah, it would feed out of there. The bottle would feed into here. Let's see if it even has any of that stuff on it. No. So this really can't be converted over to a MIG, an actual MIG. It's more just a flux core welder. And I found the noise that we're looking at in the fan. What's that right there? That was our noise. Get that out of there. It sounded like electrical zapping when I was doing it though. Was it like a cigarette pack thing? I think that's what it is. Come on out. It's gonna break on me. Like a couple little tweezers. Or a hook. See if you can hook that out of there. I think it's kind of like tied up on itself. Maybe that's why they got rid of it too. Maybe they thought they heard a electrical zapping noise. Yeah, I think that's for a cigarette pack, isn't it? How long ago? I don't even know. Cigarettes even sold like that still, where you pull the little foil off? Probably been there forever. Quiet now. All right, back to where we were. Let's see if that face will pull away. They got tape around the capacitor, holding that on. Looks high tech, doesn't it? It's definitely strong enough, that's for sure. There goes the warranty. There you have it now. Come on. I think we're going to have to, these two. Yeah, we're just going to end up just tearing the whole thing apart. Okay, there's the polarity. You're going to remember the one that goes, yeah, I might as well discuss that. So on the difference between flux core and a MIG is polarity also. You have to change the polarity around. it's got a positive and a negative. I don't know if that shows up. There's a positive and negative in the middle. So positive is, it looks like, negative's going to the gun, the outside of the gun. So we'll remember that. This is the bottom one. I'm probably going to bounce back in that same spot anyway, but let's go see if we can. Two more. I think it says tested 87 on it. Did I say 86? Right tool for the right job. Fight me, will ya? That's just not happening without breaking. Guess it's gonna fight me, like it said. It said, challenge accepted. As it thoroughly kicks my ass. Yeah. They probably have the little ends on them that spread out. Once they're through, you gotta kind of pull them together. They have to come out. They're just ribbed for her pleasure. They're gonna snap, but we'll put new ones in. Come on. Pulling teeth. Make it. Man. Definitely didn't want them to come apart. Yeah, it came out like half of them, halfway. Where we go? All this, and it still won't be where we're the direction we need to take it up to get it out. I just don't want to unsolder those wires, you know. Yeah. Sacrificial lamb. All right, we in finally. What else we got? Yeah, you can get to the switch now. Almost kind of looks like that'll lift off of there, doesn't it? So I would think, I don't know what that screw does for us. We'll take that out. I want to try to get this to back off. This, I'm going to call it Bakelite. It's plastic. This is what's, it's going to snap on us. Let's go shove, where'd the knob go? That's the one we want? Yeah. Watch it turn, no problem now, right? I wonder if, so it needs to be able to squeeze this way. So that spring has to be able to collapse so that it can come up over that cam. That's probably what's not happening. There it goes. Yeah. I think so much corrosion like that white plastic's got like a, that's what's going on. The white plastic has a bunch of yeah, punkiness to it. I wonder if it just sat for so long. There it goes. Yeah. So this white scaliness, let me get a poker. See all this white on the outside of it here? It's like corrosion on the plastic, and it seems like it's made it tight down the center there. Can we? Come on. I wonder if we can get behind it now with a little bit of lube down inside there. If not, actually we can take the knob off, right? Can we lift that right out of there? Or is that? No, it hits a stop. Yeah, it's not gonna come out. Anyway, it's back far enough. Let's go try shooting a little bit of oil down in there. Again, I don't want to get too much by the electrical parts, but we gotta do what we gotta do, right? Try probably feeding on the other end too. But we gotta get turn it back on. There you go. Is that doing it? That's all she needed. Lube in the right places to bring her back to life, right? I'm gonna work on trying to improve that just a little bit. She's still, you hear it, right? Oh, that screw is just a stop, so you can't go any further. It's the last location on the tab. All the tabs look pretty good. Yeah, originally I thought it was going to be like arc welded to one of them. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, the screw is just a stop, so it doesn't go any further. Alright, well, I am going to work on trying to just clean that up a little bit better in there to get that to rotate a little bit better. I'll blow it off with air, maybe a little bit of contact cleaner just to get rid of the crap on the outside again. I just don't want to get any oil towards any of these. I don't think it hurt. I think what it'll do though, if you get oil on it, kind of like on points, it'll cause the contacts to burn if they get oil in between them. Right. Yes, I worked a little bit more, and it seems pretty good. I don't know much more I can do, you know, try to remove that altogether, but I have a feeling if I do that, I'm going to break something. I think we're better off just trying to work with it where it is. And it's enough to, you know, raise that detent up. More than enough. All right. Well, I'm going to go put her all back together, and you guys don't need to watch that part of it. And hopefully, when we put it back together, there's more. I think I had a whole cigarette pack inside there. Any more while we're looking? Yeah, I was sitting right there. I don't know where that fell out of. Little moth. Okay, nothing to do but put all those pieces back in there. That's about halfway back together. That works a lot better. Uh-oh. No. Yeah. Good. And our speed works. We have to deal with that roller. Let me get you closer. So that roller, right there, is what feeds, there's a little electric motor behind that, and that is what feeds the wire through at the selected speed. And you can see there's actually two grooves on it. There's one closer to you, which is real thin, and there's the back one with the teeth on it is for the heavier wire, and it's on the correct one. You take that spool out and spin it around for which diameter that you're running. But we have to get the rust off of that. It's looking pretty nasty. And so we have to power it up. We'll plug the wand back in, see if everything works. We'll hit the trigger. We'll try to get it so that that little spot is facing up where we can get an Allen wrench on there and take that off of there. I plugged her in. That's good. I got the gun just kind of plugged in. It's not hooked up yet. We should be able to hit the trigger though. There. Let's go shut it off. And see if we can get a little Allen wrench in there. It might be the same one that held. There you go. See if it'll come off. There. And a little cruddy. I'm going to go take that on the wire wheel. I'm going to get rid of all that baked on rust there. It's definitely sat for a long time. Ooh, that's really bad right there. Yeah, let's go get that cleaned up. We should probably get that roller out of there too. I don't know if that'll just pop out. Kind of looks like it would, doesn't it? Yeah, it's got a lot of rust on it too. That's the other half that feeds on it, but it coasts. The other one's driven, but this is the, you know, the idle half of it. It's what puts tension on it. I think we're gonna have to get a beefier screwdriver. Yeah, we'll start with a heavier pick. And that doesn't work well. We just push from the top. I don't want to break the plastic. We're so close, you know. If you can get that right out of there. I'm afraid I'm going to do more damage by screwing with it. I think I'm going to go get a little wire wheel and we're going to go dress it right where it is. I think if I try getting that out of there, I'm going to break that plastic. I just clicked back into place too. Come on, you come out of there. Ah, we got it. Yeah, let me go clean the rest off of that. Bearing feels pretty good. It'll snap in there. Come on. Alright. So I think we're good as far as that's concerned. Again, that's the tension of it that squeezes between the two of them. And I'm going to leave that alone. I can't really get in there. I don't want to disassemble too much. Let's get the wheel back on. I think I'm going to take an air gun. I'm going to blow all the crap that's in around here too. That's all set. Yeah, I'm going to go blow some of this crap out of here. I got no air. So unfortunately they broke coming out of there. I don't know if I have any that's this tiny. All the modern cars use them for like body panels and stuff. Let me go see. And I think they did them plastic for a reason. I think there's a reason why there's no screws in that area. Let me go see if I can find something. Yeah, that's the smallest I have, and that's not going to do it, I don't think. I'll try it, but I think I'll have to wait till the store's open tomorrow to go get new ones. We can still move ahead though. We can still just be very gingerly with how we're, because there's no support for that cable. Really, I think it's what it's used for. Yeah. Now it's stuck in there. I'm committed now. Should be committed. Yeah, it's not going to do it. Yeah. Too big. So I do want to put that crappy thing back in there to test it. If we have to, we will. I was looking at the other one. I think it's aluminum. Yeah, that's aluminum wire. Good luck trying to run that on there. And in my stash. That's solid wire, right? Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think we're stuck working with this mess because this is all I have. rusty wire that has unspooled itself and is very brittle. I think what happened was when I went to go bend it over, it literally just, it snaps itself off. And that's why it unspooled in the first place. That's my excuse anyway. So I can do my best to try to get this fed on and back through the gun and see what we get. Sometimes you can just close the door and it'll feed right around. This one's got such a bend on it, they're going the wrong way. And it wasn't happening. I think I got it. Plus the fact that it's hollow, when you cut it, it has a tendency to flatten. So the wire's not round anymore, it doesn't want to feed through. We got her in the jaws there. I think we can back that tension off a hair. And let's go straighten the wand out, hit the trigger, see if we can get the feed all the way through. So the wire has to feed at a certain rate to work well. And right now it's all the way up. I'm going to go knock her down to about half speed. Turn the power on. And there's two things that help with that. One is the tension of this spring. It puts tension between the drive roller that's down below, and it looks to me like it might not be in the groove, might not be on the, yeah. That roller has to come out a little bit. I'm off the track. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. So what's happening is, let me go turn it on. I gotta get that screw face up again. So that screw is not facing. That screw's not facing. Hold on. Thank God for editing. So that roller is not in the groove where it's catching the teeth on that. It's proud of it. Let's go and bring that out a little right there. There you go. And now it's lined up with it. Drop that down. The tension feels a little heavy, but let's just see what we get. So we should get like an even feed rate out of it. There we go. That's more like it. And the other part of that too, sometimes this is too tight and it's caused, the spool just can't undo itself. Again, this wire sucks too. It's got rust and everything all over it, so we're just trying to do the best of what we can. We're gonna go cut that off. See how, I don't know if you can see it flattened the end of the wire. That'd be hard to feed. And we're gonna go put a new tip on it because it came with some. All right, let's see how we do. Right now it's on A, which is the lowest output. Where's my little glove? A is the lowest output, and you got to kind of adjust the wire feed speed to match how much heat you're putting in it. More heat that you're putting in it, or more power, the more wire it uses. So we're gonna probably have to try to go match that. Let's go, I don't know, 2.5. See how that does for us. See what we get. The piece of metal is way too big for what I'm doing. But again, we're just trying to weld that. If that's a little too high, you could hear it. You're listening to it. You hear I was popping before. It was pushed. The wire was, so much wire was coming out, was pushing the gun off the metal. It wasn't enough to go with it. Let's go turn up to B. All right, let's go to C. All the way up. Actually works pretty good. I'm gonna give her some more wire. Let's overdo it. And I could hear that was too much. You could hear where it was pushing the wire off of again. I don't know, about 3, 2 for A and 3 all the way up. I think it actually worked out pretty good. The thing with flux core, you're not going to get a pretty weld. You're not going to get it like you would with a regular MIG with the gas. It's just a dirty weld. One thing that's kind of good about it though is that wind doesn't affect it. So if you're in a windy climate, like if you're trying to weld outside, it will do halfway decent. Plus it splatters a lot too. You can see all the crap that is on there. So I think that was A, B, C, and D, pretty much with all the same power setting. And you can see as it's getting so hot, is that you're actually able to kind of burn through it. If you hit it with a wire wheel, that slag will come off the top of it, and then just us screwing around with the top setting, running a little too much. You can see where it was all puddling up, and then knocked it back down again for the other one. Let's get it. Guy's gonna pick on me for my watts. That gives you a better idea what you can kind of go see. I think we're on A again. It's just not enough power for the amount of metal that we're trying to go move, and it's just sitting on top and globbing. B and C, I'd say you're kind of in between those two. This is where I was saying that if you have a welder that is adjustable all the way, you know, there's no set levels of power that it's putting out. So say we'll just make up numbers. It's irrelevant, but say 30 amps, 40 amps, 70 amps, 80 amps are the settings that are on it. Well, if you need to be, you know, like 37 is the number that you dial in, and you're between like say 30 and 50 are your two options, you're just not close enough to kind of get a really good weld. Of course, this isn't prepped. I didn't clean this piece of metal up. It's got crap all over it. It might even be a piece of stainless, I'm not sure. And you know, hasn't been prepped, and the wire has a ton of rust on it, so neither one of those is helping. Here are the excuses. Anyway, it's more about the welder, right? It seems like it's recovered pretty good, and it should be back to functioning as a machine again. Plus it's nice, it's 110, you can kind of bring it wherever you want and use it on regular household current. Actually, it performs better than I thought it would. Again, the one that I had, which was like the same output, it was under 100 all the way up, and it would barely weld. It made you a good welder because it was such a piece of crap. All right, guys, well, I'm gonna go pop those covers back on. I think we're good to go on this. I don't see anything that is outstanding. We do need to reconnect that back again, and we're gonna make it factory so we have the right tape that they used, and then we'll go pop those covers back on. Yeah, that was a piece of stainless. Magnet doesn't stick to it. This roll of tape is probably 10 years old, and it does not want to peel apart. And I'll show you a trick when that happens. Works on most tapes. I'll show you. You just want to get it where it's kind of warm to hot to the touch, and what happens is you actually see it right there. It will loosen the glue up again. It re-solidifies the glue and allows it to be tape again. It works really good for masking tape. So, there we go. The problem is it's got one strand that got left behind from the beginning. I got to go cut that, get that to go. Get it caught up with the rest of it, and then it'll undo it. So I'm gonna go get a blade. factory repair. Like it never happened. Welder's all back together. Grabbed a piece of steel and cleaned up the slag that was on it. Hot rolled. Let's just go try to dial in too much. That sounds pretty good. Not bad. Again, we're using that dirty wire too, so a little bit of kickback when it first started, but and a little sunken. Probably go for a little bit more power. Again, this is probably about the max this welder can do. I'll try it one more time. That's all the way up as far as power. And that's what you're going to get out of flux core. Like I said, it's not a pretty weld, but it will do, you know, a fairly strong weld. Again, for crappy areas and if you're in the weather and all. And it's also cheap because you know all you use is flux core. Lighting sucks. So is the weld. All right, guys. Well, that worked out pretty good, huh? All we need is the two little plastic pieces for the support on the gun, and I'll chase them probably tomorrow and get those in there. But the rest of it seemed to get popped back pretty good. I don't know how long it sat. My guess is probably 20 years. It's just a guess, but how long does it take for plastic to... How long does it take for plastic to rust the plastic? Never quite seen that before, but it definitely kind of corroded itself up to the point where it just wouldn't turn. I don't know if somebody grabbed it and went to go plug it in, they heard that cigarette pack plastic around the fan sounding like an electrical zapping going on. That's how I thought it was. Maybe at that point they just said, you know, I don't want to touch this thing. It's deadly. And they threw it to the curb. But it came back pretty good. And just about 45 minutes we played with it. And we were able to resuscitate it. Actually, welds pretty good too for the size that it is compared to the crappy welder that I bought when this thing was probably around that same time frame, 87 around there. That Solar, which was sold through Sears, that thing was a piece of crap. I welded a lot of stuff with it. I put my Plymouth satellites together, quarter panels and everything, frame was all done with that. But again, it didn't even have this. It just had high and low, and then I think for the speed it had a variable speed, but it was just high and low for the output. It didn't have these four that were on there. And I think it was rated about the same too, about 88, I seem to remember. Usually stuff, especially in the transformer realm, I think on 120 volt, around, back then anyway, 100 was about all you can kind of get out of them. I think the new inverter ones go up higher on 110. Again, I'm not quite sure of that, but this actually welds quite nice. For a flux core welder, again, to convert it over to make it a MIG welder, it just would be, you know, cost prohibitive with the price of new welders that are out there now. But this would work fine for just what it is. I guess that's it. I got nothing else left to pick away at. Hit it with a dust rag maybe, and that's about it. She's a winner. Not bad, not bad. Happy with that. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and we'll do it again sometime. All right, let's see what we get. A little bit of test piece on there. We've got it turned on A. Right now it should be the lowest power. And each one I'll have to probably adjust the wire feed. As you draw more power, you have to kind of match the speed of the wire, the amount of wire, with the amount of welding you're doing. I think it's on 5 right now. It sounds kind of high. Let's go knock it down to about 2.5. I don't have a tip yet. Can't play without your tip.